So the most ancient people. Um, so Herodotus went to Egypt and he went to talk to the priests in the temple. Uh, the priests were the most knowledgeable people in the land. And I need to point this out. Herodotus does also mention that Egyptians were very good at keeping records. They kept records for everything. He said they they were very good at it. They kept records, so they were very knowledgeable. And those who were the most knowledgeable were the priests, the people who were in the temple. So he went to talk to them. And one of the conversations he had with them was about who are the most ancient people. And he was told the Egyptians had always thought of themselves to be the most ancient people. But that was until a king known as Psammetichus came to power. And remember, this is now Psammetichus becomes king of Egypt many centuries, so many years before Herodotus comes to Egypt. So at this point, they're having this conversation. This is an history in the long gone past, and so yeah, so they start to consider, especially when you're trying to be like, was that really accurate or not? So it could be just a story that was told, and we never know where it was really. So the Egyptians consider themselves to be the most ancient, and apparently this is a question that even the Greeks did, or something that the Greeks did talk about, and even the Greeks did consider Egyptians to be the most ancient people, turns out. Now, but when Psammetichus came, he was the emperor, he decided to do a test to know which race of people was the most ancient. And was the test. He took two babies who were immediately after they've been born, and he decided to isolate them from human interaction. And he wanted to know, when the time comes for them to speak, which language are they going to speak? Because for him, he thought people, if left without being interfered with as they grow, they're going to speak the original tongue, the original language that was spoken. So he put these kids in isolation, and he gave strong instructions that nobody should talk to them. They should only release goats to them so that they suck milk, and that's how they will feed. And that was adhered to. And then one day, the babies started saying the word because, and nobody knew what the word because meant. And the people who were in charge of looking after these kids came and told the king, the babies are using the word because. And the king asked around, and he was told Bikos means bread in Phrygian language. So Phrygians are a tribe of Greeks, I think. So from that moment going forward, the Egyptians considered Phrygians more ancient than them, but they thought they were the second after the Phrygians as the most ancient people. Now, Egyptians were in that world were considered to be the wisest of all people. And in fact, there are incidences in the book where Herodotus mentions that when Greeks had questions that they did not have, they could not get answers to, they would send messengers to Egypt to come and ask and be told. And whatever they were told, then they knew that was the answer. Yeah, so there was a Meticus who decided to perform some experiment with babies and decide or to find out who are the most ancient people, and he decided it was Phrygians and then Egyptians who are the second. How true that is, we don't know.